and welcome to this episode of Batavia Spotlight, where we get to know more about community organizations and businesses here in Batavia and in our local communities. I'm Ellen Huxtable, your host. So let's get started. And today I'm very pleased to welcome as our first guest Mr. Dan Hoffler, who's a member of the Board of Directors of the Batavia Historic Society right here in Batavia. Dan, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Tell us about the Historic Society.
Well, Ellen, in 1973, 8 businessmen paid money to purchase the old depot, which was on the east side of town, right in back of where the 7-Eleven is, over by Prairie Street.
Oh, okay.
And then with the assistance of the city, they moved it to its current location. And before they were able to move it, they had to raise money. And about 2,500 people donated enough money to put the foundation in, and then the museum was placed on it. The museum is really a very unique situation in that the land that the museum sits on is actually owned by the Park District.
Okay.
And the building itself technically belongs to the Park District, but everything inside, all of the exhibits, everything that's in storage, which is one of the reasons why we're doing the expansion project, we are out of space.
Oh, you have to tell us about that, too.
We are out of exhibit space. And so in 1974, the dedication was held. And since then, we have been there. We really believe that as we look at the expansion of the depot, when you think about the changing face and landscape of Batavia and what has been done in the last several years, you'll find that the depot truly is an anchor. The museum is an anchor on one side of where the City Hall is located, where the Peg Bond Center is. And if the city is successful, if the Chamber of Commerce is successful, if the other government agencies are successful in, I don't want to use the word redevelopment, but making changes for the future of Batavia, it's going to be great, because one of the unique things that we're hoping takes place as we begin the expansion is we would like to build into it a welcome center that will be open, so that when Batavians, when visitors come to town to visit Batavia, Batavians will be there to greet them, hand them information about our community, where to eat, things to do, what to see. So we're really looking forward to this expansion project, which will begin this June.
Oh my goodness.
Officially.
Okay.
We've been in the planning stages now for 3 or 4 years. We had to work out land issues, and once we got those resolved, we're going to begin the building process. The Park District is a partner in this relationship, in the expansion, where that they will help to move the depot caboose that's there. Everybody's familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
Every third grader in town goes through the museum. And Carla Hill, our outgoing director, and Chris Winter, the curator, have been there for years, talking about the history of Batavia and all of the exhibits that are inside. And they'll move the water tower, the coffin bank. So we're getting the land across the bike path, which will allow us then room to build on an extension, because we don't have an elevator. If you want to get to the downstairs level, if you're handicapped, you have to go outside and through the research center in order to get to the lower level in the exhibits. So we really are looking forward to becoming an anchor, a real gem on the downtown area for the community.
So now is the expansion going to be in addition to an existing building, or a separate freestanding building?
That's a great question. We're going to go north.
Okay.
And it's going to look like an extension of the depot, where it's kind of like a storage. We're going to have the double doors that will open up. There'll be a more formal entrance that's there. It'll be 2 levels. There'll be exhibit space. As I said earlier, we're out of exhibit space. We can't host traveling exhibits that are made available through different historic organizations, such as the Smithsonian, the State Museum, other local museums that have traveling exhibits. We have no space for them. We don't have space for our society membership to have meetings. We currently have storage facilities on the East Side Center, within the museum, in an off-site location. We have Newton wagons. We have 3 or 4.
Oh, wow.
That people walk in and they see the one in the downstairs basement, but we have several others. We have, Bob Popick, who just recently passed away, was so important to our community in the windmill history. We have windmill parts and sections of windmills that have not been put up on display, which is part of our history as well. So there's a lot of stories that need to be told, and we don't feel we can effectively do that as a historic society without adding additional space for exhibits, for preparation of the exhibits, for moving the exhibits on a yearly basis around. So we're really looking forward to this opportunity to expand the museum.
So I would expect that you're looking for contributions, both financial contributions and donated time, volunteers.
Yes.
Tell us about the things that you're looking for.
Well, at present, we have an expansion committee. There are 18 people on it. Part of the membership is the society board itself. Our president is Bob Peterson. Many people in town know him, former school board president. We have another Citizen of the Year, Bob was. Another individual is Tom Von Lunen. Tom was a Batavia Citizen of the Year. So we have people like that, former school board staff, Joe Yeagle, board president Ron Link, myself, Glenn Miner, our historian, Eldon Friedendahl, former alderman. So we have interested people like that, Dwight and Rosalie Jones Link, who is associated with the school district. So we have a lot of people who are very much invested in this project. And right now we're working on developing all of our materials and dates. We have on March 12th at the Batavia Public Library, we have a society membership meeting, but it'll be open to the public, and we'll start to begin to talk about the project. But we won't officially kick it off until our target right now is the first weekend in June down at the museum. We have, we'll be at the Community Resource Fair at the Park District on the east side on February 4th from 10 to 12. If people would like to find more information, we're going to host in June a chamber after hours. We're still working on that. So we're in the process of planning things, but I don't want to get ahead of where we are, just to make sure that things are in place and the materials are written and the handouts. But the biggest thing is, besides the goal to preserve Batavia's history, to get it ready for tomorrow, for future citizens, is the raising of the money. We've been quietly raising money over the last 8 to 10 years, and we have a nice nest egg, so to speak, but we still need to have at least $2 million total. So between what the society raises through grants, through pledges, what the Park District is offering to help us with, we think that between now and the next 3 years, we'll be able to do it. But we have a contingency that if we don't make our 75% goal by 2020, that we'll take it out 2 more years, so that it'll be a 3 to 5 year project.
How can people get in touch with you? What's the way to contact
Well, right
you?
now, in March, the depot will be open again. They can come down during visiting hours, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 2 to 4 on the weekends, on Saturday and Sundays. From 12 to 4, we'll have information available there. They can go to our website, which we are currently redeveloping. It's under construction right now.
Okay.
So you may not get all of the information, but it's BataviaHistoricSociety.org.
Okay.
So, and you can always reach us through the Park District, because we're listed, and we always have a page in the Park District brochure that that goes out to the community quarterly. And also, we just had a wonderful written article by Sammy King in the Batavia Neighbors
Great.
magazine. So we're getting there.
Thank you so much. Best wishes to you on this wonderful project. Looking forward to seeing what happens. Looking forward to seeing the new expansion. So thank you so much for joining us.
Great. Thank you, Ellen.
And now we'll take a brief time out to hear from some of our sponsors. We'll be back in a moment.
Downtown Batavia, always moving by nature. Recreation. Nature. The arts. Specialty shops. Restaurants and services. Downtown is everyone's neighborhood. Come, celebrate. Meet friends. Unwind.
See you downtown.
The King County Chronicle is your best source for news and information in print and online in the Tri-Cities and Caneland.
This is Chronicle Country. This is Chronicle Country. This is Chronicle Country.
This is Chronicle Country.
This is Chronicle Country.
Hi, I'm Tom Wangler, President of Confident Air. Regular maintenance can prolong the life of your furnace and keep your energy costs to a minimum. Plus, there's less of a chance of a breakdown on a cold winter night. Your furnace needs proper care and attention to keep it running smoothly, so you don't end up paying too much for heating during the cold winter months, or worse yet, with deadly carbon monoxide poisoning. We recommend an annual inspection to ensure safe operation. Confident Air, your trusted home comfort professionals since 1992.
The Drendel and Jansen's Law Group has practiced law in Aurora since 1961 and in Batavia since 1994.
We focus our energy on representing people and businesses and families in the local community.
We represent clients in Kane and surrounding counties in matters ranging from divorce to wills, business law to zoning.
We focus our efforts on planning and working towards positive resolutions for businesses and families.
When clients need someone to fight for their interests, we're ready, willing, and able to act as aggressive advocates to protect their interests.
Drendel and Jansen's Law Group with offices in Batavia and Aurora and located on the web at batavialaw.com.
Our next guest is Shannon Watson from Tri-City Health Partnership. And so, Shannon, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And can you tell us about what is Tri-City Health Partnership?
Tri-City Health Partnership is a free medical dental clinic. It's 15 years old, is right in the middle of St. Charles. It's the best kept secret.
Yes.
We provide services to folks who are underserved, who are low income, at the poverty level, or up to 250% above the poverty level. They must be uninsured or underinsured, which covers quite a few people today.
How do you define underinsured?
Underinsured is someone who is low income, and they're carrying some type of insurance, but it's primarily catastrophic care. Mostly unknown to most people today with healthcare reform. Individuals who are paying a premium, many of them have a $6,000 deductible that they must meet. So if you have diabetes and you need insulin, you have to pay for that, and insulin is about $100 a vial.
Yes.
So that individual would be underinsured, and if they were also lower income, then they could call us and we'd see if we could help them.
So would you be able then to provide insulin for somebody in that situation?
We would. We have a fantastic medical director who oversees a lot of our chronic care patients. The clinic provides care for acute and chronic. So chronic would be asthma, diabetes, hypertension. And not only do we follow them closely and provide appointments to them, we provide their medication and follow up and so.
Now, where's your location? Where do people go for this care?
We are located at 318 Walnut Street, and if you're familiar with Lazarus House, the local homeless shelter, they're also on Walnut Street as well. We're about a half a block from them. We do provide care for their residents if they need it. We provide TB screening for them as well. Last year, we implemented a dental program, so we actually have an on-site dental chair, which is another best-kept secret. We don't advertise the dental at this point because we know it's the largest disparity in Illinois.
Right.
So we truly want to focus on our geographic service area, which is central Kane County. That includes St. Charles, Batavia, Geneva, Maple Park, Richardson, Lily Lake. That specific area We chose it because we do not choose to duplicate services, and it is at least 10 miles from any federally qualified health center. And we are not a federally qualified health center. We are a privately owned, non-for-profit. We receive a lot of great services from the hospital, and we have a unique delivery model that uses 3 full-time folks and 4 full-time in their staff. And then we have 115 medical professionals who volunteer from the community to provide services to our patients.
So how are you funded? I mean, you've got to have a lot of overhead plus the drugs and everything
We do.
else.
We are funded primarily locally. We really are a community service. The local country club, does an event for us. We have fundraisers, and then we do a lot of grant writing. United Way funds us from various areas. Batavia is one of them as well. And local trusts and foundations, individual giving. We run a tight ship. We've never been in debt. And we have a beautiful little clinic that surprises most people when they walk in the door.
So how many patients or how many patient visits, what kind of volume do you see?
We are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. We're open on Fridays for dental, and or Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4, I'm sorry. And then Fridays about 8 to 1 or 2 o'clock. Most of our patients are scheduled ahead of time, but if you walk in, we have a doctorate trained nurse practitioner who's a clinical director, so she can see folks and take care of them and make sure their needs are met. Each year we see anywhere from about 470 to 600 individuals, and we provide somewhere around 2,000 visits each year on site. We currently have 58 medical professionals who volunteer and come to the clinic. They come at shifts of 2 to 4 hour shifts, see the patients, and we also have a roster of about 60 specialists within the community who will take our patients in their offices for specialty care and see them for free as well.
So this is dealing with a need that's totally unmet anywhere within the normal structure of healthcare. With the high deductible, people just can't afford that.
The typical patient that comes to Tri-City Health Partnership has very, very little access to care. So their only resort is to either utilize the emergency department or stay home. And we know that since 45 to 50% of our folks have chronic illness, those that would stay home would initially use the emergency room for some catastrophic event. Of the people that we're serving have experienced all kinds of situations. They've lost jobs. Often, we've had a lot of patients this year who've lost their Medicaid. And if you make $50 too much, you might be dropped and you have to reapply. So in between that, if you need your hypertension medication or your insulin, where are you going to go? So we will take care of that individual until they can be reinstated with Medicaid.
So if somebody had health care coverage through Medicaid, for example, and then it lapsed, and so they're in this no man's land.
Exactly.
They have a resource even for that interim period that they have.
Absolutely. The person who's just lost a job or just started a job and their insurance hasn't kicked in yet. We had a handful of folks that dropped their exchange insurance because the deductibles were so high. Not only did they have a new payment to pay every month, they couldn't meet their deductibles and they still needed care. So some of those folks have come back to us. Now, I'm not sure what they'll do when they pay their taxes and have to pay a fine. But our goal, we believe that healthcare is a right to every single person. And so we want to serve these folks if they have the need.
Now, from what age to what age do you take your patients?
We serve individuals of all ages. However, the state of Illinois provides insurance, Medicaid insurance, basically for most children. So we do see some children, but that's only about 5%. And those children are ones who have recently moved here. They're waiting for the Medicaid to kick in. Or they're a child of an undocumented person and they just arrived here or something. But we will serve anyone. If someone calls and the child is ill, we'll actually have an adult patient wait put them aside and take care of the child first.
So you mentioned to me earlier that you're one of the best kept secrets. And so the important thing then is for people to share the information that you are available. If they don't need it, maybe their neighbor does, or to get the word out.
Absolutely.
So maybe their neighbor's neighbor might be the person that this resonates with. So how can people contact you?
They can call us at 630-377-9277. We have a website that provides a plethora of information for any question they might have about what we do, who we serve, and so. It is www.tchpfreeclinic.org. You probably could type in Free Clinic in St. Charles and you'll pull up Tri-City Health Partnership.
Great. Well, we hope that many people who need your services find you so that they can get the health care that they need.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Thank you. And now we'll take a brief time out to hear from some of our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Tom Wangler, President of Confident Air. Regular maintenance can prolong the life of your furnace and keep your energy costs to a minimum. Plus, there's less of a chance of a breakdown on a cold winter night. Your furnace needs proper care and attention to keep it running smoothly, so you don't end up paying too much for heating during the cold winter months, or worse yet, with deadly carbon monoxide poisoning. We recommend an annual inspection to ensure safe operation. Confident Air, your trusted home comfort professionals since 1992.
The Kane County Chronicle is your best source for news and information in print and online in the Tri-Cities and Caneland.
This is Chronicle Country. This is Chronicle Country. This is Chronicle Country.
This is Chronicle Country.
This is Chronicle Country.
The Drendel and Jansen's Law Group has practiced law in Aurora since 1961 and in Batavia since 1994.
We focus our energy on representing people and businesses and families in the local community.
We represent clients in Kane and surrounding counties in matters ranging from divorce to wills, business law to zoning.
We focus our efforts on planning and working towards positive resolutions for businesses and families.
When clients need someone to fight for their interests, we're ready, willing, and able to act as aggressive advocates to protect their interests.
Drendel and Jansen's Law Group with offices in Batavia and Aurora and located on the web at batavialaw.com.
Downtown Batavia, always moving by nature. Recreation. Nature. The arts. Specialty shops. Restaurants and services. Downtown is everyone's neighborhood. Come, celebrate. Meet friends. Unwind.
See you downtown.
Our next guest is Judd Lofgy, who is an attorney in the area, and we're very pleased to have Judd join us today. Judd, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Ellen. Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about your practice?
Sure. I've got a law firm with a partner, Miguel Fernandez, and we're on the north side of Aurora. We service the Kane County, Will, DuPage, Kendall counties, and we do mostly real estate, corporate and business, estate planning. That's sort of our concentration. We also do some litigation, bankruptcy, and family law. I've been a lawyer for 30 years, Miguel for about 15, and I've lived in the Fox Valley 20 years. Mm-hmm. Miguel is bilingual and licensed in Florida. I'm also licensed in Washington, D.C. And one of the big things we do, Ellen, is real estate closings. Purchasing a house is one of the largest investments of your life, so you really need to get an experienced real estate attorney. And I say that because a lot of people will get their uncle or their brother who's a lawyer in maybe a different city, maybe a different state, but there's lots of local knowledge you need to know. Aurora has several different documents you need as a buyer or a seller, so you need to be protected by someone who knows the local custom. We also do residential and commercial closings, and we do a lot of short sales, people who are buying property in foreclosure, HUD properties, VA owned, bank owned, things like that, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, and we've been doing it so long that we know a lot of really good people, mortgage brokers. For instance, there's a program now where you can get $5,000 to $7,500 as a grant for a down payment assistance. So if you're buying a house with 3.5% FHA, you almost put, minimum like $1,000 down. It's great. We also know home inspectors and real estate brokers.
So you can help people get the resources that they need in order to make this go smoothly, because I know that if everything isn't perfect, when you get to a closing, there is no closing. I've been close to that myself, so I can appreciate that one.
And it's very stressful because not only are you negotiating your house, you're packing up, maybe you need to get your kids in school, and then your inspection comes in and they won't fix some major item, so we help with the negotiation as well. Right, it's very stressful.
And there's so many pieces to it, like you mentioned, so many of the other small things that you can overlook if you haven't done this a lot.
Right, there's a lot of moving parts, right.
And a lot of the parts seem to be things that are not routine. When you mentioned some of the things that you handle, they're not routine closings. There's nothing like a routine closing, probably.
You're right, Ellen. It used to be easier. Now people want to fight about, not everybody, but lots of people want to negotiate a lot of different items.
Especially much nicer to have them talk to you than to talk to the person. I'm sure it's much more civilized that way.
Right.
Now, one of the other things that I know that you work with are wills and trusts. Tell us a little bit about those.
Sure. So, everyone really should probably have a will, leaving their items to their children or their parents or their brothers, their significant other. And without a will, you go into probate, it's very expensive, several $1,000s. The bond alone can be a couple $1,000s. So a will is really cheap and it avoids probate. You also should have a power of attorney for property and health care. So if you're sick, hospitals would love to see a health care power of attorney. And if you need to get money out of the bank for a funeral or for whatever, you need a property power of attorney. So those are really inexpensive documents you do up front. If you have children, you name guardians of them. Over 30 years, I've seen a few, families self-destruct, fight about money, fight over who's going to be the guardian of the kid. Is it the sister? Is it the brother? So you just want to take care of all those things ahead of time.
And it's a way to make your wishes known, but also to alert people, because when you have children, you assume somebody's going to be their guardian, and they might not even be aware that that was what your assumption was.
Correct, exactly.
So it's a way to communicate what you want your wishes to be.
Yep.
And I would guess that things can get pretty complicated pretty fast if people don't plan in advance.
And pretty expensive. To go to court and go through that could be, a year or two of arguing and fighting, and it's just not worth it.
What do you have as tips for people that are, for example, in the real estate market, other than getting an attorney, certainly, but what are some of the things they need to think about when they're going into this real estate process?
I've written an article, what you need to know about buying and selling a house. It's on our website. I would look at that. But, I would say it's great not always to buy in, the bulk of the people put their houses on the market in March or April.
Okay.
So, if you're looking to sell, you've got a lot of competition. If you're looking to buy, there's not as much activity. So, before April is a good time to buy. After July is a good time to buy, because people like to buy and be in before the school starts, typically. Get a really good home inspector. You could miss something. A roof could be $10,000 to $15,000. You can miss all kinds of things, electric problems, mold. So a good home inspector is really key.
And excuse me, I know that I know that you work with other professionals and you have people that you know like and trust, so that if people were to come to you and they didn't have necessarily their whole team, or they didn't know who there should be on their on their team for their particular situation, that you would be able to help them put together the right professionals, because not everybody needs every professional every time. And most of us don't know people. They're in very specialized fields, so you're able to bring people together like that.
Absolutely. We can find them experienced people at reasonable cost. Yeah, we know who are the really good people.
And that's important because, again, when you talk about a home purchase or a commercial real estate purchase, you do that all the time.
Right.
And for most of us, it's a once or twice or maybe 3 times in a lifetime thing. And between the times we do it, things change so much.
So much. And if you're buying and flipping homes, which a lot of people are trying to get into, you want to set up a corporation to do that, to protect your personal assets. So for a house purchase, you don't. But if you're buying and selling homes, you definitely want a corporation to protect you.
And so that's something else that if people were interested in that and learning more, they could definitely contact you.
Absolutely.
And find out more about that.
Yes.
So John, how can people contact you?
Give us a call. We're open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, and we do have evening and weekend appointments if needed. 630-236-3600. And we have a website, aurorapropertylaw.com, so check it out.
Excellent. Well, Judd, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for the tips and pointers. And we hope that people take advantage of the services that you do offer to help people get through that whole process smoothly and effectively.
Right, and our initial consultation is free, so give us a call.
Absolutely. Free is a very good price for an initial consultation to save a lot of money expectedly. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen.
And thank you for tuning in to Batavia Spotlight. Remember, you can watch us on Comcast Channel 17, AT&T UVerse Channel 99, or on our website, www.mybatv.com. You can also go to our YouTube channel, which is BATV1017. I'm your host, Ellen Huxtable, and we'll see you again next time. If you have any questions or comments, please contact us at 630-937-5413 or email us at info@mybatv.com. Have a wonderful day.